Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. Thank you for being here. Before I say any other word, I would love to just hold a moment of silence and bring where our beloved Angeles served for many years. So we just take a moment of quiet. Amen. So today we are here to honor and celebrate an amazing life. The life of Angeles Elizabeth Rodriguez. And I know there's a lot of love in this room, and each time we gather in love, the holy happens. It is today not only a time to grieve her passing, but to celebrate and remember the gift that she was. The daughter, the mother, granddaughter, sister, friend, and faithful servant of Spirit. In unity, we affirm that life is eternal and love never ends. And even though our hearts may ache, we know Angeles' spirit is alive and is here and present in each one of us. Having known her brings her fully present here in a circle of beautiful love. And that's what makes all of this a sacred time in which we will remember and celebrate. So as we get started with our service today, and I am Reverend Anna, to have introduced myself, I invite you to take a deep breath and make that breath be about gratitude for Angeles, for her laughter, her uniqueness, her devotion, her prayers. May this be a time of great comfort and peace and inspiration as we celebrate her journey and her legacy. As you know, this will be a service in English, but we will definitely have to include some Spanish. And I was really moved to do this opening prayer in Spanish. So let us pray, oremos. Todos hicimos ese profundo respirar para conectarnos con la presencia del amor de Dios, presencia viva, presencia real. Y en este momento abrimos el espacio, corazón a corazón, creando juntos un círculo de amor en donde elevamos el espíritu de esta gran mujer que en vida fue Angeles Elizabeth Rodriguez Molina. Así que Ángeles, aquí vives en nuestros corazones. Y desde ahí sabemos que recibes y das desde el plano espiritual como lo hiciste en vida, que te vemos brillando, evolucionando y siendo ese faro de luz en los planos celestiales. Por ti y para ti dedicamos este servicio de hoy. Gracias, Dios, por ángeles en nuestra vida. Amén, amén y amén. And now we will, in the spirit of love and peace and presence, We're going to be guided into this beautiful song, I Will Surrender. And may we use this time to let go of what might be blocking a deeper experience with the divine and with Angeles.
You surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am kinder every moment, every day. And I am grateful every moment, every day. And I am stronger every moment, every day.
Please keep your eyes closed, and as we surrender, we feel our hearts connected, being one. Keep your eyes closed. is my friend. We went together to the retreat in Unity Village 2 years ago, and she showed interest in Andean shamanism. That's the reason I brought the Andes to this moment. Now, Ángeles vuela. Vuela alto como el cóndor. Ángeles vuela tan alegre como el colibrí. Ángeles se eleva tan alto como el águila. Ángeles es uno con todo lo que es. Ángeles es el aire. Ángeles es la tierra. Ángeles es el fuego. Ángeles es el aire. Es el agua. We all someday will be in this journey to the source. She already is there. Ángeles, de vuelta a casa. Being one with the elements, feeling the divine presence as we feel right now. Breathing the air that Ángeles is. With our feet on the ground, that Ángeles is. Evolving as the fire that Ángeles is. Saying words by air that Ángeles is. Being one with the elements is being in the source. with everything. And being one with everything is being in the place where Angel is always going to be, forever young.
May the good Lord be with you down every road you roam. And may sunshine and happiness surround you when you're far from home. May you grow to be proud, dignified, and true. And do unto others as you'd have done to you. Be courageous and be brave, and in my heart you'll always stay, forever young, forever young. May good fortune be with you, and may your guiding light be strong. Build a stairway to heaven with a prince or a vagabond. And may you never love in vain, and in my heart you will remain, forever young, forever young, forever young, forever When you finally fly away, I'll be hoping that I served you well. For all the wisdom of a lifetime, no one can ever tell. But whatever road you choose, I'm right behind you, win or lose, forever young, forever young, forever young, forever
Forever young, eternamente joven. Start off with the statement that at the human level, It is never, or we are never really ready to let a loved one go. And let them go forward in their path of evolution. For the more we love, the more attached we get. And the more vulnerable we are to pain and grief. Especially if we weren't expecting it, right? This was the case for our beloved Angeles. It just didn't cross our minds, and I know many of you feel that way, that this was her time. It took many of us a while to let that sink in. After a couple of days after in the ministry we learned of her passing, I could really sense the grief in our group. So I said, let's get together on Zoom, and we essentially prayed together, wanted to bring forth Angeles' energy. It almost felt like walking into a funeral viewing. We needed to be with one another and just cope with the news. So my intention today is to really have a celebration of her life that will allow us to have some sort of closure at whatever level we might need, but also will bless us with greater insights about our spiritual life, because I'm convinced that many of you are actual blood family, but many of us are like soul family. And as soul family, there are lessons that we all exchange and influences that each one offer one another. I am moved to share her life from a very deep place, for I know that one of life's greatest gifts is when we are able to be seen as we truly are. That is, to me, truly empowering, to be seen, that we may transcend our judgments or appearances and really see that divine, beautiful presence that we are. And that's why I really love the South African Zulu greet, in which someone says, I see you, and then you respond, I am here. So as I was preparing for this eulogy today, I kept hearing something like, Angeles will be there listening. And even before walking in and having my prayer to prepare for this service, I could hear her say, Gracias, Hannah. So being seen, isn't that something we all want? And I know it was something important to Angeles. It's to acknowledge each other's presence. I love the story of Mother Teresa when she was alive and she served in her centers, that many people would show up and ask, how can we help? And Mother Teresa will constantly make this request. And the request was, go out there and let the needed people know they matter. And I would like to share something in that line. One of my first experiences with Angeles, I think it was, Osvaldo made reference to that retreat, or it was a UMass retreat, a retreat we have in the mountains of North Carolina in the greater Asheville area. And she was riding back there was somebody else and myself. And during that long 4-hour trip, Angeles opened up and shared her life story. And I was so engaged in listening and asking questions because I was just fully there. And I didn't think much of that. But when we got off to get gas and we're standing in the line to get some snacks, she looks at me, I can still see her, and she says, Anna, thank you for listening. Thank you for caring and paying attention to me. And yeah, it's almost like you're seeing me. So as I share that story about being listened, it has a lot to do with Angeles' journey, especially towards the end of her life, or that's what she ended up doing for a living. She ended up listening to people and praying with people. One of the things that I realized in the process of letting my loved one go, something that they recommend and I find very healing, is when you identify a virtue of that loved one and you say, I'm going to take ownership of that and emulate that in my life. Because as you might relate, love to me equals connection. So when I say to you, I love you, I'm really saying I feel very connected to you. And the more connected we feel to someone, the harder it is to let them go. And we know in spirit and truth, there's never separation. We're always one. She has not left. She's here. But we know that at the human level, there's a physical separation. And that intention of doing something or emulating something that honors that person will definitely bring you to the space of connection beyond the physical. Like one of my biggest losses have been my dad, and when he passed, he had always told me, when are you going to do your ministry? And I was like, yeah, someday. And that gave me like the inspiration to say, because of the love that I have for my father, I'm going to step forth and move and create this ministry that I know was calling me. So I would like for you to ask yourself, and I know there's family here, there are friends that we know Angeles at different levels. What would be a virtue of Angeles that you would like to carry forth in your path? And then do it. Bring her on, and you will see not only will you feel closer to her, but it's like closer to all that is and closer to spirit. We know that Angeles was a seeker of spiritual truth. She had a great, full relationship with spirit. And if you really knew her, she called God el gran poder de Dios. And I love her. I love that because none of the people that I know would refer to God like that, el gran poder de Dios. I would say that she lived a human life from a place in which building that bond with God was the center of her existence. You probably can relate that even though we might get involved in life and fulfilling our societal roles, that some of us experience a deeper calling for something beyond this world. And I believe that Angeles was that person. Something higher was always calling her and pushing her forward beyond the world dynamics. And I am of a firm belief that many times in fulfilling our human roles and facing life with the challenges that life can bring at any moment in time, as we do that, and we bring the spiritual dimension to the formula, this is how we evolve spiritually. And I know Angeles, like any of us, faced challenges. Nonetheless, she had the opportunity to navigate them from a deeper connection to spirit, birthing new levels of spiritual gifts, wisdom, love, peace, understanding. So maybe it might be about us honoring that willingness to seek, that willingness to be in the unknown space, that willingness to ask questions. Many times when life isn't working or there's something in our disconnect, we might feel a level of uncertainty and discomfort, but we just need to know that it's just part of life, part of how we grow. You know that there's an additional Gospel of Jesus, not in the official Bible, the Gospel of Thomas, that has a quote that expresses that so beautifully. It says, Jesus said, "Let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, but then he will rule over all." So I invite you to perhaps have the courage and the dedication to spirit that Angeles had. Angeles was born in the island of enchantment, Puerto Rico. And I know we have a handful of people here from the island. She was born in Santurce, same place that I was born. And during probably college age, she moved to New York City, like many Puerto Ricans at the times. She got married, became the mom of beautiful Martine, and after a change in marriage, came back to the island, which gave her a chance to reconnect to her roots and her family. And I'm glad that it gave Martine the opportunity to be in touch with your ancestry. I was really impressed with the great Spanish Martine with the Puerto Rican accent. I had no idea, and she's like, yeah, sí, cómo no, you know. Angeles also spent time in California, Florida, and ultimately came to North Carolina to be with her daughter and family. Reading here from the obituary says that Angeles dedicated her life to learning, healing, teaching, and her faith. Angeles loved to write, paint, make jewelry, and was an avid reader and traveler. Angeles was a certified fire walking instructor, I didn't know that part, a Reiki master, a student of Qigong, NLP, Violet Flame, A Course in Miracles, and so much more. Angeles was a loving and doting mother and grandmother who cherished her family. She adored her sisters, nieces, cousins, aunts, uncles, and friends, many of who are here. Angeles became a really active person here at Unity of the Triangle, especially not only in the Spanish community, but she was part of a spiritual dialogue class that I led for like 9 years, and she was part of that class. It was so cute how I just have a funny thing to just, because it just became like a tradition between the two. We would have every so often a Christmas party Puerto Rican style. And I would ask everybody, all the Puerto Ricans, to bring a dish. And I didn't have, I had distributed the list, but I was still missing amarillos en almíbar, which is really like sweet plantains, really sweet. And I said, Angeles, I need you to make the amarillos en almíbar. And she said, Ana, I have no clue. I said, yo, you figure it out. And she made the best amarillos en almíbar that I have ever had, and then it became her star dish in every Puerto Rican event. She was very grateful about, specifically for almost 15 years, we've been doing this online prayer circle, and she participated in so many times. She said, Ana, even though you didn't see me, I was listening. Then a while ago, she was going through some job transitions, and I learned about a job opening at Silent Unity. Silent Unity, it's a prayer ministry in the headquarters of the Unity movement. in Kansas City, Missouri. This is how this movement started, with prayer. And after 135 years, there's still prayer going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Silent Unity gets close to or over 1 million calls or prayer requests every year. So I knew about Silent Unity and I knew about Angeles. So I was able to connect the two, and Angeles became a prayer associate for Silent Unity in both English and Spanish. And I would proudly say, because I brag about it, that she was the very first prayer associate in the 135-year history that was ever a remote. Through the pandemic, they created remote positions, and it was Angeles, the very first one, who occupied that position. Angeles kept telling me, Ana, they do reviews. They gave her a really intense training, but every review was of excellence, year by year after year. I know it was not easy. She would share with me how draining sometimes it can be to be answering calls for people who are in desperation or in pain or in major need of help. But she would be prayed up enough to hold that presence and that power for others. Don't you think that's a major gift? To be able to spend and make a living out of being a presence of prayer for others when others need it the most. And she would do it with a lot of dedication. So I just got back from Unity Village, from the World Day of Prayer. There was a World Day of Prayer celebration here in every church in the world, but I was blessed enough to go there for the World Day of Prayer. And in the closing ceremony, the director of Silent Unity, Reverend Maggie Almerman, stood there to give the closing words and to thank everybody who had made that event possible. And I was so moved. And I wish I had my camera there when she said, I could not culminate this service today without honoring Angeles Rodriguez. And just not only the beautiful words she said, it was about how Angeles had touched her heart. Can you imagine the director of this institution? They have like over 80 prayer associates, and to just be touched by a real presence. As she learned that Angeles had moved forward, she emailed me a prayer that one of the ministers there wrote. Beautiful prayer, and that's how I would like to end my eulogy right now. And if you will see in your program the last paragraph of the prayer you can take home, because it's really beautiful and it just captures the soul of Angeles. She has gone ahead, not far, just farther than our arms can reach, beyond the hum of calls and quiet prayers, where time is no longer marked in shifts and hours, but in peace. She has laid down her headset, not in surrender, but in grace. Her voice no longer echoing among us, but now resonating in the hush of spirit, in the stillness we keep today. We remember who she was, recordamos quién fue, her laughter, su risa, that gentle joy that could warm a room and soften a day. We remember the light in her eyes, la luz en sus ojos, how it shone with kindness, iluminó con bondad, how it welcomed us. how it blessed every soul she held in prayer. We remember the presence she brought to life, calm, faithful, and real. And the goodness, the goodness that came to life in her smile as she prayed, in her service as she prayed, and in her soul as she prayed. Today there is an empty seat among us, but not an emptiness, for she filled us with more than enough love to endure her absence. And we know that love does not leave and love does not fail. It lingers. It lives on each one of us. So we don't say goodbye, only Godspeed, Ángeles. You're held now in everlasting light, sostenida en la luz perpetua, wrapped in eternal silence and song, envuelta en eterno silencio y canción, where every prayer is a balm for the soul of the world, and every soul is whole. Today, we who remain honor you and your journey through our hearts and lives. We lay down our headsets and speak only your name into the silence, not in protest, but in peace and holy remembrance, because one of our own has journeyed on. Ángeles Rodriguez, we speak your name and thank you for contributing to make this world a beautiful one. And so it is.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue,
Song, yes.
clouds of white, a bright, blessed day in the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Gracias, Ángeles querida. And this is a moment in which some friends, family members would like to open their hearts and offer some words. So I'm going to ask for Solimar to please come forward.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you for everyone being here. We are not only remembering Titi, but we're just honoring her life and her legacy and everything that she has done. She truly was a special human being. You know, she had incredible kindness and warmth, and to everybody that was lucky enough to know her, she just gave everything. She was someone who always encouraged, at least me, and I figure everybody else around her, to let your light shine, to be a smile to others. You know, and the truth is that she herself was a beacon of light. Her smile was genuine and caring. Are just some of the most outstanding qualities that she had. The love and legacy that she left behind is unmatched because it lives in every single one of us. And for those who know, at least that know us, the bond that we shared is something that I truly cherished. I can still hear her saying my name. Very rarely does anybody call me by my full name, and she had a very particular way of saying it. Solimar! She would always say it this interesting way, and I loved her for it. and she just had that joy in every conversation that we had. You know, she was my friend. She was a confidant, you know. Sometimes I was hers too. We would talk to each other. It's amazing because the last conversation that I had with her was like an hour conversation in traffic. And we were just talking. And we ended up in prayer. And funny enough, she said, okay, now that I've prayed, I can actually tell you what I want you to do. Because I can't say that at work, but I can say it to you. And we just ended up cracking up and laughing. And that was just the bond that we had. She loved to spoil me, honestly. And I felt spoiled by her. One of the things that we shared and that we loved was art, theater. We loved creativity. We loved all that stuff. So one of the most cherished memories I have with her is that on my first year in college, I went to New York for a competition. And she's like, oh my God, you're coming to New York? I have to pick you up. We have to do something special. And she not only picked me up in New York, took me to her house in Newark, we spent the week together. She took me to my first Broadway show. She took me sightseeing. She took me everywhere. We got gussied up. We went out. I'm telling you, when I say she spoiled me, she spoiled me. And she knew exactly what you loved and how to make you feel special and seen and known and loved. And it's just one of those things that she will be missed for that. Because the way that she made you laugh, when we were giggling, we were laughing. And we just had the most incredible fun. And funny enough, about 10 years later, because once wasn't enough, I had too much fun, we did it again for my 25th birthday, where she's like, I got this idea that I wanted to do a big thing for my birthday. And she's like, well, let's do it. She didn't even think about it. She's like, let's do it. Got in my car, drove to her house in Vero Beach, like the other side of the Florida state. She's like, okay. I stayed with her. Then we went down to Miami. We got all gussied up again. We went out on a town at night. We went to see Wicked for the first time. We had a blast. And it was just a girls' trip. But it's just memories that now live in my heart because we just enjoyed it together and it was quality time. And she just wanted to make things memorable. She wanted to be that love and that kindness and spread it all out. She was somebody who celebrated the good times, but also stood by you in the hard times. I know when I lost my dad, the first call I got was from her. She was there like, are you okay? I'm with you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for Grace Marie. I'm with you 100%. She put in a prayer request through her job as well. She's like, all of the people are praying for you. We love you. That was the kind of person that she was. Titi was just always so thoughtful, and she never forgot to call or message anyone. I don't know, if you ever missed a birthday message from Titi, like, I don't think that ever happened. There was always a birthday message or a special occasion. Either it was a text, a phone call, an email, anything, or even a Facebook meme, because she loved her Facebook memes, right? You know, she always wanted to celebrate and to always be that light. She had this way of making you feel seen, of remembering and celebrated, and, you know, all of life victories and all of life battles, she was always there. She was one of those people that you can always count on being there. What made Titi so extraordinary to me was that not just how she loved me, but how she loved all of us. Because I know that I can't be the only one with stories like this. She was a beacon of light and goodness everywhere she went. She carried joy, she carried kindness, she carried a deep ability to let people feel valued, seen, heard. And so yes, today maybe the world feels a little bit dimmer without her smile or her laughter, without her voice calling our names in funny ways. But the truth is, her light hasn't gone out. It lives in each of us because she left a part of her heart in every person that she touched. And there's a saying that goes that there are some who bring light so great to the world that even after they're gone, their light remains. And I also think of her when I think of Matthew 5 that says, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Titi Angie lived like that every single day, letting her light shine, and it pointed toward love, pointed toward joy, and it pointed towards faith. So while today we grieve her absence, we also honor her presence that is still with us. The best way we keep her legacy alive is by doing what she always encouraged me to do. Let your light shine. Every time we celebrate someone else, every time we show kindness, every time we remember to call or send a message, just to let someone know that we care, that's her light shining through us. She told me to let my light shine, and now I hope that all of us will do the same, because if we do, her light will never stop shining.
Thank you, Solimar. Now I'm going to ask her niece and goddaughter, Angeles. It's your turn, sweetheart. Carries her name.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me okay? Bless you. Today I get the honor of speaking about someone who is not just my godmother and aunt, but truly one of the most fascinating people that I have ever known. I carry her with me every day, even in my name, which I inherited from her. She was incredibly beautiful inside and out. But what stood out even more was her spirit. She was a true bohemian, a radiant soul, a free spirit, a storyteller of life's most beautiful adventures. She walked this earth with bare feet and an open heart, embracing every corner of life with laughter, wisdom, and wild grace. She lived many lives in one lifetime. If something was new, unusual, or even just a little bit curious, she had to try it. One day she might be into art, the next cooking, making jewelry, or traveling somewhere unexpected. She had a talent for finding the most exquisite gifts. Each one was a treasure and a reflection of how deeply she cared. I will never forget, for my high school graduation, she gifted me my very first Coach purse. It wasn't just a beautiful gift, it was thoughtful, memorable, and it made me feel so special. Another year, she had necklaces made for us girls with our names engraved in them. Those small gestures meant so much because they carried her heart in them. She also had her own magic in the kitchen. She could make a mean matzo brie, one of my favorites. Simple, delicious, and made with love. That was her way. She nourished us in body and spirit. And of course, she was a storyteller. I remember going to Martine's high school graduation, and she shared stories about her life growing up. Adventures so interesting and vivid that I told her she should really write a book. Her life had so many chapters, and every story reminded me of how extraordinary she was. She made friends everywhere she went, building long-lasting relationships that stood the test of time. She shared a strong bond with her sisters and family members, and she loved her daughter Martine with all her heart. Martine was her everything, the center of her world, the truest expression of love. Her faith and spirituality were also a guiding light for her. They kept her grounded, centered, and gave her strength through life's many journeys. Part of her magic is that she made life interesting. She made us more curious, more open, just by being herself. She made us all feel seen, special, and free to be who we are. When I think about her now, I don't just remember her laugh or her stories. I remember how she inspired us to live more fully, to not be afraid to try, to explore, to reinvent ourselves as many times as it takes. She lived with curiosity, courage, and joy, and that's the legacy that she leaves with all of us. Now that she has journeyed on, I ask you to receive her into your boundless peace. Let her spirit dance among the stars and rest in the arms of eternal love. Help us carry her light forward in laughter, in music, in acts of kindness, and in moments of courage. May we honor Titi Angie by living with open arms and wild hearts. Today, instead of only mourning what we've lost, I want to celebrate what she gave us. Permission to live boldly, to try the unexpected, and to always remain curious. Thank you, Titi Angie. Thank you for your love. May your memory be a blessing always. I will forever hold you in my heart and in my soul, but I will see you again. I love you con toda mi alma y mi corazón.
Wow. Thank you. I'm going to ask Martine now, Angeles' daughter, to please come forward. You're going to be okay, okay?
Oh, it's bright up here. All right. Jesus. Thank you all so much for coming, for gathering with us today to celebrate my mother's life. Today we gather to honor and celebrate the life of my mother, a kind, passionate, and deeply spiritual woman. She was a guiding light in my life, a steady presence whose love never wavered and whose belief in me never faltered. My life is forever changed. She was more than my mother. She was my friend and my teacher. So much of who I am today is because of her. She gave me the freedom to be myself. She would give advice and allow me the opportunity to learn how I needed to. That was one of her greatest gifts. She was a gift. My mother lived such an amazing life. Everything she pursued with passion. She lived her life with love and with purpose, always seeking ways to grow, to give, and to guide. She was extra in the best way. Her love was fierce, and she gave it all, fully and without hesitation. She loved hard. She lived life all in. She had a beautiful way of turning ordinary moments into something extraordinary. She delighted in surprising me with little tokens, simply because she saw something that made her think of me. Each one carried the same message. I'm thinking of you, I love you. One of my favorite memories is how once a year she would pick a random day completely out of the blue and say, let's play hooky. We'd skip whatever responsibilities we'd have and just spend the day together. We went to the beach, we saw Les Mis, went to the movies. It really didn't matter what we did. What mattered was that she made time for joy and for us. There are countless things I will miss about her, her light, her love, her laughter, her presence. But above all, I am grateful. I am forever grateful to have had the privilege of being her daughter. And I know I'm not alone in that gratitude. The outpouring of love from everyone here and all of the people who have reached out is a testament to the incredible love and light my mother shared with the world. Her kindness touched lives far beyond what she may have ever realized, and we carry that with us now. Though her loss leaves an immeasurable void, I choose to celebrate her life because her life was and will always be a blessing. Mom, I love you. Thank you for everything. I will carry your voice, your laughter, your joyful spirit, and your love with me always. Sorry mine is shorter than the others, but this is really hard. So thank you so much for everything and for being here for us.
Thank you, Martine. I'm sure that many of you have stories to share, memories, and the beautiful part is that right after this service, what we are about to culminate, we'll have some fellowship time at the fellowship hall, and we highly encourage you to share. Make Angeles' presence more palpable than it has been throughout this service. I appreciate you coming here. We wanted to end with a song that every Puerto Rican knows, and it's called Preciosa. It's a song that talks about the island, and I really believe, and I might be biased, but I really know that people from Puerto Rico tend to be hard people. And Angeles was not an exception. I would like to end with a prayer, a short prayer, the prayer of protection. This prayer is how every Unity service ends, and it was written during the World War II when mothers and family members were calling Silent Unity for prayers of protection for their loved ones in war. And James Dillett Freeman, who's known for being a great Unity poet, wrote it. And in honor of Angeles and the prayers that I'm sure she did a lot of prayers of protection in her journey and her job and her position, we will do this one together. And then Jessica Vargas, please stand there. So as we close with a prayer of protection, you will interpret the song Preciosa. So staying, I know we're all in our hearts and feeling Angeles is here. She's alive and she's listening. And together you repeat after me. and we're addressing it to her. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. And the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Rest in peace, Ángeles. We love you, and so it is. Amen.
Yo sé lo que son los encantos de mi Borinquen hermosa, por eso la quiero yo tanto, por siempre la llamaré preciosa. Yo sé de sus hembras trigueñas, sé del olor de sus rosas, por eso a mi tierra riqueña por siempre la llamaré preciosa. Isla del Caribe, isla del Caribe, Borinquen, preciosa te llaman las olas del mar que te baña. Preciosa por ser un encanto, por ser un Edén. Y tienes la noble hidalguía de la madre España y el fiero cantillo del indio bravío lo tienes también. Preciosa te llaman los bardos que cantan tu historia. No importa el tirano te trate con negra maldad. Preciosa serás sin banderas, sin lauros ni gloria. Oh, preciosa, preciosa, te llaman los hijos de la libertad. Preciosa te llaman los bardos que cantan tu historia. No importa el tirano te trate con negra maldad. Preciosa serás sin banderas, sin lauros ni gloria. Oh, preciosa, preciosa, te llaman los hijos de la libertad. Preciosa te llevo dentro, muy dentro de mi corazón, y más desde el tiempo en ti se vuelca mi amor, porque ahora es que comprendo, porque ahora es que comprendo que aunque pase lo que pase yo seré puertorriqueño. Yo seré puertorriqueño por donde quiera que ande, porque lo llevo en la sangre por herencia de mis padres. Y con orgullo repito, yo te quiero, Puerto Rico, yo te quiero. dedicarle este canto a ese noble jibarito Rafael y a mi isla del encanto. Yo te quiero, Puerto Rico, yo te quiero, Puerto Rico.
So now, now we're ready to have some fellowship time across the sanctuary. So thank you for coming. Gracias. Bendiciones.